guys, welcome back. As you can tell, today's video is going to be about products I have returned at Sephora. This is going to be kind of similar to like a products I regret buying video, although I don't regret it that much because obviously I got my money back. But I think this is a little bit different because since I don't actually have these products, I just never think to talk about them to you guys or tell you like why I regret buying them or anything like that. And I do think there's a bit of a difference between like a product that you like regret later on down the line compared to a product that you like immediately don't like so much that you actually want to take it back, you know what I mean? I definitely had to rack my brain to remember these products. If I thought harder, I could probably think of more, so if you like this video, let me know and maybe I'll do a part 2. And I will still link these products in the description bar down below because I always link everything, as you guys know, and I like to stick with that. And if you guys like want more information on these products, want to read more reviews, or as I always say, the things I describe that I hate in a product might be what you have been searching for your whole life, so they will be down below, but let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, I don't have any of these products in my possession anymore, so I will be inserting pictures of them on the screen just so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But the first product I have to talk about that I returned is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Quad in Rust. These are pretty straightforward. They are just basic matte eyeshadow quads. They have 4 and I believe they are all completely matte. So really good for like a simple matte eye look, or if you want some like blending shades for your crease. And the one I bought once again was Rust, so it's meant to be like warm orangey brown kind of shades. Now the quality of this was okay. It wasn't fantastic. Like, there are shadows that are okay to work with, but they weren't the easiest to blend. I did find them a little bit dry and patchy. I wouldn't really recommend them for beginners. I personally bought this quad because I wanted just like a little simple palette that I could use for like a matte base shadow and then have some blending shades to kind of build up a nice warm orangey kind of crease. And in each one of these quads they have one shadow that's larger that's meant to be like your base shadow. And my issue with this quad is that the base shadow is like straight up pink. It's not like a vanilla or like cream with like a pink undertone. It's like a straight up soft baby pink, which is hard to tell on the website, and even looking at it in person I like didn't really notice until I actually started using it on my eyes. But this baby pink color looked so bizarre and out of place with like rusty oranges in the crease. It didn't connect. It didn't make like one cohesive look for me, and that's like the whole reason I wanted this palette. So I was like, I'm not going to use this. This looks stupid. I'm gonna have to end up pulling from other palettes for my base shade to make this work. So ultimately it just wasn't worth it. If the quality was like amazing, I probably would have kept it, but it was just kind of like a flop overall, so I returned it. My second product is also unfortunately from Kat Von D, and it is the Lock It Concealer Cream. So this is the newer version that comes like in the tube with the wand, not the original one in the squeezy tube. And I never tried the original one, but you know, it was always touted as this like super heavy duty, full coverage, you know, covers tattoos kind of concealer. I only use concealer in my eye area personally, so I don't tend to use ones that come in a tube like the original, so I always skipped out on it. So when they came out with this version, I was like, oh, I'll probably like this way more. I'm going to test it out. And I do have a video, like a first impressions, trying this and Shape Tape on like separate halves of my face, so I'll link that down below. So when I tried this, I was just expecting like really supreme, intense, full coverage, and it just fell a little bit short of that. It was also very creasy, and on top of that, it doesn't apply well with a sponge. When I posted that video, you'll see all the comments are like, try the Kat Von D one with a brush. It only applies well with a brush. And I did try it, but honestly, I just don't like applying concealer with a brush. If I want to use it with a sponge, it should still perform well. And even with the brush, I just didn't find it that fantastic. And ultimately, I knew that it was just going to be too much work. I didn't want to hang on to it because I wasn't going to touch it again, so I returned it. The next product is the Beauty Lush Lip Tint. This is a tinted lip balm, but then in the center of it they have this little like white kind of section that's meant to be just like extra conditioning for your lips. I don't actually remember what shade of this I purchased, unfortunately, but I think they would all kind of do the same thing. The formula of them, the scent, the texture, everything was really nice, but what that white little bit in the center did was like lightened my lips and gave it this like really weird kind of like white cast. Like, you know how when you put on sunscreen and it gives your skin that white kind of like milky appearance? That is what it looked like on my lips. I do have like very, very stupidly pigmented lips though, and I know that's what my issue was. Like, my mom has one of these and she has lighter lips than I do and she absolutely loves it. For me, it was just a no-go. It made me look super weird. The next product I have returned is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. I just don't feel like this did anything for me. I still got shiny, my makeup still separated in my super oily areas. I didn't notice any difference in like how long my makeup wore. It just felt kind of like a waste, honestly, but I feel this way about most mattifying primers. Like, most of them just really do not make a difference for me. Like, I haven't really found many that control my oils or like actually keep me matte. The best I found is like the Estee Lauder mattifier primer that prevents my makeup from like separating and melting off, but I still get shiny throughout the day. Even with like the Becca Ever Matte primer, I don't feel like it does anything for me. I don't know, it was just a primer that like I put on and I felt like it was just an unnecessary step, and my foundation would have looked the exact same if I hadn't used a primer, you know what I mean? And it's funny because one of the first things I ever bought from Sephora was the original Makeup Forever HD primer, and I ended up returning that one too, so I don't know if Makeup Forever's primers just aren't the best fit for me or what. Next was the Too Faced Boudoir Eyes eyeshadow palette. I bought this on like such a whim. It was so impulsive and it didn't end up working out for me. I bought it before Valentine's Day because I was like, oh, I can make like a cute sultry Valentine's Day look with this. But ultimately I started using it and I was just like, these shadows are just kind of like meh, way too cool tone for me. I don't know what I was thinking buying this because it's like so gray tone. The eyeshadows were nice, like they blended well and they looked nice, and they just like weren't my kind of color palette. If you like really cool blue tone gray shadows, then you will love this. I just find, for me personally, they always make my skin look very like sallow and washed out. I did really like some of the pink shades in this palette, but like, I don't know. I shouldn't buy makeup impulsively like that. The last two products I have to talk about are skincare items, and the first one is the Too Cool for School Egg Mousse Cleanser. Now this is exactly what it sounds like. It is a foamy, moussey kind of cleanser. It comes in an aerosol can, which I thought was just super cool when it first came to Sephora. Obviously, kind of gimmicky, but I was like, this is so fun. Like, it felt so cool in your hands. It felt like you were like applying a shaving cream all over your face, but ultimately this just did not leave my skin feeling cleansed at all. And I double cleanse, so I always remove my makeup first and then cleanse my skin separately. So it's not like I was expecting it to remove makeup or anything, but even on like bare makeup free skin, this just didn't leave my skin feeling clean, which I don't want something that leaves my skin feeling like stripped or squeaky clean. But like, my skin felt the exact same as it did before. My skin would still feel kind of like oily and gross. It just did nothing. And it was like very, very perfumey and fragrance, which I can handle in a cleanser because it's not on my skin for too long, but you guys know I don't like that because my skin is very, very sensitive to fragrance and things like that. So it was just all around like, no, I'm not gonna waste my time with this product anymore. I did actually use it for quite a while too before returning it because I like really wanted to love it just because the texture of it was so cool, but it didn't work out. And my final product is the Coola Makeup Setting Spray with SPF 30. Now, I don't believe this is sold in Sephora anymore. I think this brand was only in Sephora for like a very limited time. Now, Supergoop also has an SPF setting spray, which I've since tried, and I love that one so much, but at the time you could not find it like anywhere in Canada at all. So when Coola became available on Sephora, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't wait to try this. This is such a cool, unique product. So I ordered it online and I immediately loved it. I used it a few times and I was like, this is fantastic. But then literally after like 3 to 4 uses, the packaging on it literally started falling apart. Like, the spray on it broke and it just got like super messed up, and it was at the point where it was just like leaking everywhere. Like, at least 3/4 of the bottle had like leaked out within like a couple hours. It just got super messed up. I like didn't drop it, I didn't break it, nothing happened to it. The sprayer just stopped working. I don't know what the heck happened to it, but I was super bummed about it because I was so excited to finally try this product. I emailed the people at Coola and I just like asked them about the packaging. I was like, hey, my packaging broke. I sent them pictures and everything, and just kind of like asked if this had ever happened before, or they like had any knowledge of this, which obviously they're not going to email me back and be like, yeah, our packaging is defective and it breaks. But like, a number of people have told me the exact same thing happened to the packaging on this for them too. But anyways, yeah, I just emailed them about the packaging. I wasn't trying to get like a free one or anything like that, but they immediately emailed me back and they were like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry about this. Send us your info and we'll send you a new one immediately. So I was like, oh, okay, wow, like that's really nice, really great customer service. I wasn't expecting that. Like I said, I did not email them with the intent of like getting anything for free, but I sent them back my address and they were basically like, oh, you're Canadian. We don't ship to Canada. So I was like, oh, okay. So they were like, no, we're not going to send you a replacement after all. But then they were like, there's this boutique in your city and you can just go buy a new one there. So I was like, you guys don't ship to Canada, but yet a boutique like an hour away from me sells them. I can just go purchase one. Like, that didn't really make sense to me. And it was just kind of like a super annoying experience. They started off really nice, but then they actually got quite nasty with me. So I was just like, screw this, I'm just returning it. I took it, it was all like crusty and disgusting from leaking. I took it in a Ziploc bag, took it back to Sephora, and I was like, goodbye Coola, I do not want to use any of your products after this interaction. That was a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, I just don't really have any interest in trying any of their products after that. It was just really, really bizarre. But that is where I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed and found it interesting hearing me talk about some products I didn't end up loving that I have never really talked about on my channel before. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to go follow me on social media. I am at SariReanna everywhere. And hit that subscribe button down below if you are new here. But I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye guys.